Oh wow, it's me, the risky red. I barely had toast this morning. I do have toast. It's not great. It's just two slices. It's like the back of the loaf of bread and like one other slice. That's basically all I had. I had a couple other slices, but they were like wet. I don't know why. I think they got ruined by the freezer. So I didn't use those. So I don't have a lot of toast today, but toast content, hey, here we are. Usually with the toast content, the last toast content, I just ate the toast. That's all I was asked to do. First time I was going over a lot of different things. I was asked, hey, this isn't enough toast for me. Too much talking. Too much talking. So I just went straight into toast. The criticism after that was there's not enough discussion. There's no updates in this. It's just eating toast. So I mean, do we strike a balance? I don't know. I think the first way we did it is fine. So it's been a little bit too, so I feel like I can talk about other stuff regardless. Also, secondarily, we're here on the Discord at the same time live. If you're watching this later, you're likely watching this on safeBLUE, which is great. I'm gonna start the toast though. This is like the bum bread side. Actually, not bad. Pretty good. I like it. That's pretty nice. Oh, actually, update in terms of the toast. I have a toaster oven now. I had this toaster. I actually showed it off in the first toast content. Just a 4-slice toaster, Cuisinart. Had it for a very long time. They call it like touch to start. It's a motorized toaster, so you put the toast in it, you press the button, it lowers it down gradually, and then raises it back up when it's done. It does a little beep. It's pretty cool. It's kind of been bad in its age. It's gotten worse over time. My family decided to get a toaster oven. Glorious. It's like restaurant toast. You go to like Denny's or something like that, and you get like toast with your breakfast, or like IHOP or something like that. It's good toast. It's very, very nice. This one's especially good. I don't know what's going on with that today, but it is nice. In terms of update and stuff that way, in terms of things that are going down, I've started, and I've kind of known how to use this a little bit. I wanted to get familiarized with DaVinci Resolve, because basically every video that I've done for quite a while has been Adobe Premiere. And that was because of college. When I went to college, they were like, oh, we're all fully Adobe software. We're using Photoshop, we're using After Effects, we're using Premiere. I went to college for film. I didn't really know Premiere that well at all, but I'd used other editors before. I knew of it, of course. And so the strategy of editing video, like just the technique and just like the being able to see how to edit something and figure out like what's the best timing for cuts and stuff like that, that's just stuff that you can figure out with any editor. That's just something you get comfortable with in terms of how video is edited together. Hold on, I need to pull out the drink. It's another Peepus. I know I've had the complaint the first time that it's like, oh, you have Pepsi? Why? I don't know, I'm weird, okay? I have Either way, I've been having a lot of problems with Adobe Premiere recently. Not even recently, for the last while. I just haven't really enjoyed it. I'm on my system, feels like I'm bragging here, but my system, I was able to get a decent-ish system in like 2021. It's a 3090, RTX 3090, what is it? Intel i9 12900 KF processor, I think. Yes. And like 64 gigabytes of RAM. Like, my system is pretty nice. I really like it. I enjoy it. It doesn't mean I don't have problems with it, but it's not so much a hardware thing. It's more of a software thing. But I enjoy it. It's good. It does a lot for what I need it to do. And I mostly got a lot of those specs for editing purposes. And even then, MP4 video, 60 frames per second, 1080p, the bitrate is like 6 to 7 megabytes per second, which is not very much. 3 audio tracks. I record with 4 on Twitch, so every stream that's recorded, I record locally. I don't download them from Twitch. That's a waste of time. I record them, but they're in the same format as how they are on Twitch. Outside of, they have extra audio tracks. So they have audio track 1, which is the one that gets sent to Twitch. So whenever you're on Twitch, that's the one you guys are hearing, which is just everything that you need to hear. And then track 2 is a duplication of the mic track. I actually record my mic twice. You guys hear mic track 1, which whenever I press mute on my mic, that mutes that microphone. But mic track 2 is its own microphone. Well, it's the same mic, but it's just recorded in a different track. And so that one's always unmuted. So if I'm ever muted for, say, like 10 minutes or something like that, I don't lose that audio. I do on the Twitch end, but I don't when I re-upload it later. I'll still have that audio. I can just take it from mic track 2. And actually, I just use all of mic track 2 because it's all the same effects. Outside of like mic effects with like reverb and stuff, I'll just add that back in or take from track 1 or whatever. The main reason I moved away from Premiere, back on that topic, is just because with my system, I still have that whole... That's basically it. And on my audio tracks, I have like some extra effects that go through the whole audio track. But generally, it is essentially just like, if I ever play the video, it can take like 3 minutes before it actually plays the video. And then once it does that, it's kind of choppy. Then I have to play it again, and then it'll play properly. And it might work for a little bit. And then some edits that I do, like if I move a bunch of video like quickly, then it'll do that again, and I have to wait through it again. If I ever leave Adobe Premiere, like if I just click outside the window and back in, it like will act like it's crashing for about 2 minutes before it actually starts working again. And it adds so much extra time. It's also really frustrating to work with. And I hate it. The stream archives recently, I've been going through and kind of editing them a little bit more, for different reasons. Any like React segments are kind of like just edited, so they're not the entire video most of the time. It's hard with like really short videos, but they're not usually the whole video if I can try to make sure that that's the case. They have like text in them as well, saying like what the video title is and where it's from on YouTube, and it'll have the handle of the account that's from. But that takes extra time, especially in Premiere, where I keep running into issues of the program lagging and taking forever to allow me to be able to use it again. So DaVinci Resolve, I've been playing around with it. It has not really lagged on me. I put in OBS files and it's been fine, and it hasn't really had an issue. And this has also been why I haven't really done any of the Tears of the Kingdom stuff. I know it's been really behind. One, it's really hard to find time on top of, doing streams as we normally do, getting those re-edited with thumbnails and everything, and then also any time in between that to record and edit it. It's, again, I mark it as the experiment that I tried, and it hasn't really worked, but because it's Tears of the Kingdom, it's a really long series, and there's still a lot to do. I haven't even finished the actual game yet. Tears of the Kingdom, for the most part, is really not that complicated of an edit. It just takes time, because it takes a lot of skimming and watching back, and then figuring out what things are good to keep. And Premiere is the worst for that, because, my God, it just lags constantly. When I cut out bits, it lags again, and 10 minutes of edited Tears of the Kingdom gameplay can take, like, the same amount of time, if not, like, longer. Like, it might take 20 minutes to do 10 minutes, or even, like, 30 minutes to do 10 minutes. It is a pain in the ass. DaVinci's seemingly been pretty good. I've actually kind of enjoyed it. I've been able to basically set it up generally in the same way to have the projects seem basically the same. But there are just nicer things about it. I can do like motion tracking pretty much no problem, like proper motion tracking and stabilization of shots with literally no issue. I like it a lot. I've only really used it for a couple hours one day, just learning it myself. I didn't do any tutorials or anything. Generally, it's pretty easily readable, to figure out where things are and how to do things, but I still don't know everything, so I'm still taking time to learn it. I'm going to do more of that today, and that's kind of why VODs are behind too. I'm hoping to get a lot of the recent VODs and kind of start working on that and see if I can do all that in DaVinci. But yeah, so I've been taking the time to do that. It's part of the reason why I was going to do a stream on Monday of Doom, which was yesterday. Did not do that. I moved that last minute. It was just holiday. I was spending more time with the family. I wasn't really feeling it that well. I knew it wasn't going to be great. I had to get up early. I was not super, I didn't have a lot of energy, and I knew that was just going to get worse through the day. And so I was like, I don't want to really go in with that mindset, on top of the fact that I do kind of want to spend some time learning this software. It's long overdue. And it plays back video instantly, which is baffling to me. I can't believe there's editors that do that. That's insane. Anyway, my toast is getting cold. Let's eat. Either way, in terms of content going up on the channel, or, you know, stuff that we're doing stream-wise, we're doing Doom. That's going to happen Saturday now. That's a game that is weird to me, because it's like, it's new enough that I would expect it to have DLSS and stuff like that, but it's not quite new enough to actually have that, so it doesn't have it. And so the graphic settings in that game are really weird. It also doesn't have a frame rate limiter. I think it only runs at 60 frames maximum, which is really interesting for a PC version of the game, but I think that might be the case. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm seeing. But yeah, we're going to be doing that, and then we're doing Returnal tomorrow. We're continuing that. I really liked Returnal. Returnal is definitely, so far, is on my list of, like, favorite games. Like, I'd easily put that in my favorite games so far. And once we've done the entire thing, that's how I judge if it's a game that I would say is my favorite game, or in my list of favorite games. Because it could get really hard and really bullshit in the later half. I'm hoping that's not the case. I've really, really enjoyed it, but yeah, it's we still haven't played the whole thing yet. I say we're about halfway through the game. It's not quite half. It's more like 2/3 of the game. It is technically half, but it's not going to probably feel exactly like half. I mean, it depends. It depends. Maybe it will. Maybe it'll feel longer than that because it takes me longer to get through it because I'm bad. We'll see. It's fully dependent on my performance, actually. I've really enjoyed watching other streamers play it now that I've done like 3 of the biomes. Just see kind of their experiences as well in the early game. And yeah, so it's interesting to see that too. But yeah, really been enjoying that. Want to play more of it. We'll have more of the house, I guess, story-wise. So gotta get more into the story. I haven't fully... There's parts of it I've understood, but I haven't understood everything. So we'll see how that goes. We'll obviously be doing Isaac on Friday. I obviously, of course, enjoy Isaac. You guys do as well. Kind of the main thing we do. I'm always looking to see if there are new mods and stuff to check out. And not so much the new mods that are like, ooh, we can have Isaac, whenever he dies, he just suddenly goes like, oh, no, and then he dies. Any mods that are transformative in a way that makes the experience a little bit different than it normally is. Ones like that are like Fiend Folio, that adds a bunch of different enemies and like a crap ton of enemies. It changes some of the tiles of stuff. It adds a bunch of bosses. Stuff like that, that's really cool. Revelations, Epiphany, Retribution in a little bit of a way. Recently the Toho mod Reverie, which, you know, I don't know a huge amount of Toho. We've learned a little bit over time, for sure. Thanks, Edgy. It is a mod that's like, it's based on Toho, but at the same time, it's still just interesting characters in terms of Isaac. Like, regardless of how you look at it, the characters are just interesting gameplay-wise. And so I do really like that. So I do want to check out that more again and just kind of play it a little bit more. It's really hard, though, with those kinds of mods because, one, we have to see if like mods like that are compatible with all the other mods we have, which usually they are, which is really great, but they aren't always. And then secondly, is that the more and more mods you have, the overall just performance degradation you're going to have over time. You're going to have so many mods that are having to get information via the Isaac APIs, via callbacks, which is totally fine. That's just how things work. But when you have a bunch of mods doing that, that'll add a little bit of latency because now you're adding like the time of this mod to do that, the time of this mod to do that, the time of this mod to do that, and so on and so forth. Some mods are really bad at doing that. There's literally a mod called Mod Profiler that you can use to figure out which mods are taking a really long time. And so I've kind of gone through and found mods that have been doing that recently and gotten rid of them. I've done that a couple times. Andromeda, the character, for example, has really bad callbacks, super laggy. Like a normal callback would be like 1 to 2 milliseconds. Andromeda was like 30 or more. Reshaken we got rid of because that was doing that a little bit. Plus I wasn't really super interested in it. It had some interesting items, but we didn't find them that often. It didn't really add that many enemies. It had like 3 enemies and a bunch of like pickup items that you could use and throw, but they're too hard to figure out what they do in the speed of the twitching of Isaac type of streams. And so I'm always, you know, looking for new mods, but also have to keep track of all these things so that we can keep the game performance as good as possible while also having new stuff at the same time, while also not taking away a bunch of stuff. It's a hard balance to keep, but so far it seemed to be pretty good. And so we'll see how it goes in the future, but for now, I think next Isaac stream we'll be doing Toho and checking out more of the Reverie mod, as we've been doing, and then we'll see from there, I guess. Pepsi Man! I'm kind of hoping to have a bit of a push towards content elsewhere. We obviously have streams and stuff, and we have stuff here on safeBLUE. The stuff on here is just, you know, the lowest effort, lowest bottom of the barrel kind of content. However, I'm hoping to have more things on Risk Red, the main channel, at some point. I've been very back and forth on what I want there. Having re-edits of VODs and having just stuff like that makes the most sense, but it's not automatically stuff that I'm like, oh, that's what it should be too. Like, even just having exclusively done stuff, because I could do that as well, but there's really no reason for me to do that either. So if I was to do that, I'd want it to be something quite a bit different, but I don't really know what would make sense. I don't know, maybe it will just be edited stuff of gameplay. Maybe I'll probably be a little bit more interested in doing that more often than not now. Hopefully with DaVinci being more stable for me than Premiere and being able to hopefully have a bit of a higher output, but we'll see. That's me being really hopeful. I'm not guaranteeing anything, obviously, but I'm hoping to have more stuff there, maybe more stuff on TikTok, things like that, just outside of the stream, because those are places that I don't normally have a lot of content. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to spend a little bit more time learning DaVinci, though, putting some of that new learning into some of these slightly behind VODs currently, and then try to hopefully be able to say, hey, those went well, let's try to put those towards a more proper video. It's good toast. I know I said that, but I really like toast, okay? I changed the stream schedule this year. Last year, it was like the 4-day. It was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Ideally, I didn't always hit it, but that was the ideal schedule. But I've changed it this year where it is the 3 days, kind of swapping back and forth. I generally like it. The way the schedule it is now is 1 week is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The next week is Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. The 1 week is really good. Going Monday, Wednesday, Friday into Tuesday, Friday, Saturday gives me a lot of time to do stuff elsewhere, and also just kind of chill a little bit. Going Friday, Saturday from the Tuesday, Friday, Saturday week into Monday, Wednesday, Friday is definitely not good for that, but the hope is that I've had enough time between then to be able to make that work. But it doesn't always happen. It's never going to be perfect, but I want to still be live during like weekends as well as through the week. And I feel like this is a good way to do it with 3 days rather than 4 for each week. 4, which is kind of a little much consistently, like over and over again. There really wasn't any time to, you know, both kind of just chill and relax a little bit while also having like work done on stream archives and stuff. It's not perfect, but it's still working out generally enough. Oh, that was very crummy. There are a lot of crumbs on my table. Great. Cool. The last one. Good stuff. I got the crinkly bread today. Oh, nice. Yeah, dude. It's cinnamon. We were playing Mario vs. Donkey Kong on Saturday. I wasn't able to get all of it done. I'm not really worrying about returning to it just for the little extra bit that we have to do. I'll just do that on my own time. It probably could have been a little bit easier. I realized a couple things. I realized one thing I didn't even know. And it probably told you in the game in one of the tip boxes that exist there. But I didn't process that and didn't realize that was a thing. I was having problems doing one level, a couple levels, but one level where it was in the ice world, World 6, and it was this level with a bunch of bricks from one of those like brick enemies that kind of just send bricks down. And there was an ice path underneath them, and I was jumping in between the bricks because I'm like, oh, this is really hard to do with the ice physics. It's really hard to jump between. The bricks keep falling down super quickly, so it's hard to even get in there. And I realized after stream, my dad had been playing Mario vs. Donkey Kong. He was playing it, and I was telling him about that level, and he's like, "Oh, you couldn't do like the handstand?" What? What do you mean? He's like, "Oh yeah, well you do the handstand, then the bricks will fall on your feet, and they don't do anything." Yeah. I even knew that was a thing from the original game, but I completely forgot about it in that instant. And I was like, oh, fuck, god damn it. Yeah, you're right. I forgot that was a thing. And so that was a lot of unnecessary time and anger in that section. Mind you, kind of popped off, though, because I managed without doing that. So, I mean, god gamer, dude. These are fiber bars. I'm probably not going to keep having them for too much longer. They get expensive now. But, they're good. Good source of fiber, but they also have granola bars that are like a third of the price. Oh, Canada, your prices are really bad. And there you go. That was toast content 3. I don't know what we're going to call it this time. Haven't figured that part out yet. This time it's 2 slices. Again, I'm doing these live recorded as well in Discord, so if you're interested in that, where we just do these updates, they're here in the Discord every once in a while. We have the events section as well that labels things like that, as well as when streams are and when they're moved to. So if you're curious about that, that is available there. As always here, links are below for everything if you're watching this on safeBLUE. Obviously, check out the main channel. Hopefully it maybe has videos on it by now that aren't just Mario Kart Wave like videos from the Booster Course Pass. If not, though, check those out too. Though they're cool. And of course we have the VOD channel as well. They are mostly intact VODs, but react sections are cut out. There's also chapters for everything. So if you're in for just the gameplay, you'll be able to skip to those sections specifically. And yeah, cool stuff. Thank you guys for checking this out and just giving me some time. I appreciate that. And regardless, that's everything. Take care. Eat toast.